racism and, you know, how it's running rampant. So the next topic we want to go ahead and start with is racism still alive and well in the sporting world?
Of course it is.
And so, you know, but some people say it's not, because you know what people look at? They look at the color of the skin of the athlete that's on the court, right? Or on the field or playing the tournament. And so that's all they see is, oh, well, there's this many African Americans in this and this many people in that and this many, you know, in there, that, you know, racism's not still going on in sports, but that's not the case, right? That's not true. And I mean, I think the best example that we can come out with at the moment is clearly what happened in the soccer.
The England.
Yeah. So
the three guys that missed, I think we talked about it in one of our episodes, and then we said we're gonna make it a topic in a future episode, which is today.
Yeah.
The fact that the three of them that they missed happen to be African Americans, I don't even think African Americans is the correct term.
Black is the correct term.
Yeah, because they're not. That term is also weird to me. Like African Americans, they're not even from Africa, right? And they're actually also in England, so it can't be African Americans.
Yeah.
Anyways, they got death threats and you know, and they got racial discriminated against and all that. I think it's fucked up, and it exists. And I'm like, the fact that you think it's not happening, it's happening. I got
a quote up here. I just wanted to read real quick, and then I'll let you go
ahead.
To social media platforms at Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, I don't want any child or adult to have to receive the hateful and hurtful message that me, Marcus, and Jordan have received this week. I knew instantly the kind of hate that I was about to receive, and that is sad reality that your powerful platforms are not doing enough to stop these messages. And that was one of the soccer players. And this is where we talk about it's mimicking life, right? Everybody thinks that, you know, how much racism did we see come out in the news and everything recently, right? Racism is something that is running rampant in this country and obviously around the world. So now we have, because these just happen to be black soccer players who missed the kick. It could have been a white soccer player, an Asian. It doesn't matter. The color of their skin. Yeah, they missed a kick, but you don't make death threats on people, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I know you think I'm going to be throwing a shot at you when I bring this up, and I promise you, I'm not taking a shot at you, but it reminds me of what I've heard about playing in Boston, right? I've been told black players don't like to
Boston.
play in Boston.
Is a racist town in sports.
One of the most racist towns out there. And that's just, you know, and it's sad and it's scary.
People would say, well, wait a minute, why are you saying that? One of the most beloved athletes is David Ortiz. I'm like, okay, but that doesn't prove the fact that you're pointing out just that proves that it's still a racist town. I mean, it's just like saying, oh, but wait a minute, I'm not racist. I have this friend that's this race. That's just like pointing that out. But Boston's always been known for a racist town when it comes to athletes. Actually, I think they were one of the last teams to get an African-American player.
Well, probably in basketball. Remember, but growing up
in baseball.
That too. But growing up watching basketball, it's the all black Lakers, primary black Lakers versus the only white Celtics, right?
Yeah. And then they got Russell. The one with the 8 rings. Bill Russell.
Yeah,
they got Bill Russell, which Red Auerbach was the one who backed him up, and it's like, yo, I mean, this guy's a great athlete.
I just heard stories of people in the stands and out there and everything like that, and the things they say and do and such, and it's scary to think what goes on over there.
Yeah,
at those
stadiums. I agree. I mean, it is a racist city. Yeah. It's changing and it's evolving, but it still doesn't mean it's not out there.
No. And it's crazy to think too, a place like that was, you know, part of the Union, fought for abolishing slavery, but I guess you know they didn't want them as slaves, but they still want to treat them lesser. I guess, you know, it's just those types of things are nuts. Go ahead.
This guy brought it up. This Sheffield, yeah, he used to play for the Yankees. He brought it up, and he was right when he said it.
Yeah,
he's like, Boston is a racist town.
Yeah,
when he played against the Red Sox and all that.
Yeah. People said some things, you know. So I mean, I guess that's the difference between Philly and Boston, right? Philly hates everybody equally. They hate everybody. They don't like anybody out there.
Yeah.
But you know, other than that,
unless you're from Philly themselves.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. If you're from Philly, they love you. But if you ain't from Philly, even if you play on the Philly team, sometimes they hate you. It's just one of those things. So, but I don't know.
Yeah,
You have anything else you wanna
it's
bring up about it?
no, not really. There was something. Oh, like I'll bring it back again. Colin Kaepernick standing up
Yeah.
turned into a race thing, and it wasn't even had to do. It turned out to be took away from the message that he was trying to put out.
Yeah.
But here's my thing, and I'm gonna put this out there. I think what's gonna end racism, if it ever does, is we putting labels on ourselves.
Okay.
Calling it out. I'll give you an example. This person is the first black person to do this. Oh, this person is the first white person to do this. This person is the first Latino to do this. Why don't they just say the first whatever instead of using a race? Because I think that's how we separate ourselves.
I agree and I disagree with you on that one.
I just think when you call out a specific, like they did this and then, or they're doing this, and then you put a race on it, I think you're causing already that separation.
But until we get into a world where there is no racism, that's how you have to do it sometimes, right?
Yeah, but I think that's also part of
no, because if you look at a guy like Jackie Robinson, you're diminishing his accomplishment.
Oh, no,
by just saying, okay, he's a guy who made it into baseball, right?
Yeah.
So you're diminishing what that was for those people to see.
Well,
I
can see that. Well, I can see that because of segregation. I can see that, but I'm talking about for damn. I had an example and I forgot all about it. Which I'm like, but why does it have to mention what race they are? And I think it's one of the biggest reasons that when we put labels,
again, it goes back to because the majority of history, it's white people are the only ones allowed to do things, right? So when you get somebody who's non-white who can break through that barrier and do something for the first time, it's a uplifting event for that racial, for that racial, I don't know the word, for those people, right? So that's why it still is prevalent, because we still keep these people down.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna say, Obama? Like once again, recently, there's no separation there. Obama was the first black president. Do we not say that?
Yeah, we do.
But should we not? Should we just be like he's the 45th or 46th? I don't know what number he was. He was just the next president?
He was the 44th.
44th. So we should just say he's the 44th.
And the only way I
president?
remember that is because the guy that succeeded him was horrible. He was always known as the number 45.
Yeah. But I'm saying, so should we have just said he was the 44th president and leave it at that?
Yeah.
But that diminishes the history.
It doesn't diminish anything. He's just we know he's black. We know he's.
So are you okay? Are you okay then if somebody says she's the first woman to do that?
There's no need to put anything behind that.
But but aren't certain things describing the person?
Why can't she just be the first human being to do it?
Because she wasn't the first human being.
Okay. Or why can't she be the first or a different example of person that accomplished that? I think what happens, I think I'm not making. I think
the people. It's an uplifter for those people, right? So when women have somebody who did something for the first time that was dominated by men, that is a huge breakthrough. The first woman coach in the NFL, that's a huge breakthrough. You're diminishing it by just saying, okay, we have another coach. Obama being the first black president is a huge, momentous occasion for this nation. But by saying he's just the 44th president,
but don't you think that? But don't you think that causes separation?
No. Why would it cause separation to describe what the situation is?
I understand the accomplishment, but the minute you put a race to the label, it becomes you started separating it.
I think it only works. I think you're right in everyday terms, but not in these situations. If we have our first woman vice president, we are diminishing her accomplishment. If we just
we're not, because she's the vice president. We know
that's
okay, but here's the thing, though. But here's the thing:
no woman in history has ever done that.
But there's woman leadership around the world that are like,
and the ones who were first are recognized for it.
Yeah.
So
I see that.
So then that's why we want to recognize these people.
I just think we have to. The dialogue has to be in a way where we don't call. I think because part of the dialogue is causes separation?
I think it's
Maybe
the
there's
people
maybe
speaking the
maybe I'm
dialogue.
saying it wrong and I'm using the wrong example. But there's examples of like, but why does it have do they have to be that? Why does it have to be the first Latino to do this? Or or not even the first Latino? Why he has to be used as an example and then they have to mention his race? Why can't it just be the first? He's also a guy that accomplished this and that.
Because that makes those people who are of his nationality.
I mean, we
proud.
know. So you're trying to tell me that that when we look up and we see an Obama as president, we didn't know he was black?
No, but you think you think that people are going to follow the story the same if he wasn't?
I mean, he's our president. He's going to be on TV, and
okay,
you can develop the pride.
So was the guy after him, right? But why was that such a big deal? He became president
because of his words and what he said.
Also, that's part of it, but also he's the first president who never served any kind of political office before it.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, but then they never. Okay, let's say. Oh, anyways, I think I was gonna end up going somewhere else with it.